We are not God, but Allah has given us these attributes that are contingent. They're not absolute, but they're approximations. They give us some way of understanding our Lord. And that is why every human being has this karama. لَقَدْ كَرَّمْنَا بَنِي آدَمَ. We have dignified the children of Adam, all of them, the Buddhist, the Jew, the Jain, the Christian, the atheist, the whole lot of them. They're all dignified in that they have these qualities. And all I've been trying to do is just tell people, we're all here together. Don't hold people to account for things they've never done. The Quran says, لَا تَزِرُ وِزْرَ وَازِرَةٌ أُخْرَى. Don't hold people to account for sins they haven't done. That's a jahiliyah. There were 1 million people in London demonstrating in cold weather. I was there for 5 hours against the war. Now, what right do you have to do to blow up their train that they're commuting on because this country went to war in Iraq? Not representing those people, not representing 80% of this nation. What right do you have to do? Who gave you that right to take that person out of this world? Because I find nowhere in the Islamic tradition where that right is given to anybody. So why isn't that being taught? Why aren't the ulama speaking up? Seriously. Who gives you a right to get on a bus and see a little girl sitting in front of you and blow the bus up? Who gave you the right to take out that child? And you say, well, they do that to us. Is that Islam? That's how we learn how to behave, based on the behavior of people that are our enemies? Do they teach us how to behave? Is this what we're supposed to do? Well, they do it to us. Look what they're doing. I mean, I look through the Quran, and everywhere I see when it talks about persecution and what you're hearing, it always says, be patient. Sabrun jamir, wallah musta'an, isbiru wa sabiru. Be patient, encourage others to patience. You'll hear much harm and foul things from these people, but be patient. Inna dhalika min azm al-umur, because that's at the root of this matter. We created this world to try you, to test you, to see which of you are the best in actions. وَجَعَلْنَا بَعْضُكُمْ لِبَعْضٍ فِتْنَةً. We made some of you a tribulation for others. أَتَصْبِرُونَ. I mean, that's a question from God to all of us. We made some of you a trial for others. Will you show patience? And Muslims say, well, how long are we going to be patient? You haven't been patient. That's a maqam in Islam. That's a spiritual station. We haven't even entered into it yet. Because if you're patient, as-sabru miftahul faraj. Victory comes from patience. That's where it comes from. What is patience? Sabrun an al-ma'asi wa sabrun ala ta'a. It's being obedient. It's doing what Allah has commanded you to do and persevering in that, because patience is a type of perseverance. And then it's avoiding what Allah has prohibited you from doing. So if you look at the Muslims today, I mean, look at the societies, the most corrupt societies on the planet. I mean, the first time I was ever exposed to bribery in my entire life was the day I went to a Muslim country. It's the first time. I spent, 18 years in California. Nobody ever said I had to get my this or that or the other thing. Never. Didn't happen. I learned that from the Muslims. It's just, that's all I've been trying to do, is just calm people down, because I think they're too excited. People say, no, you're putting out the fire. Well, because fires are not good. They burn people down, right? They burn us up. Fire is what I became a Muslim to avoid. So I don't want to stoke any fires. I really don't. I don't want to stoke any fires. I'd rather be a fireman. It's the guy that puts them out instead of the guy that starts them, right? They call those pyromaniacs. Pyromaniacs. Crazy fire people. Fire lovers. What would you say? Pyrophile. A fire lover. I'm a garden lover. And if I die in these days, I don't want to die a martyr waging war. I want to die a martyr waging peace. That's where I want to die. Because my whole understanding of Islam is that it's about spreading peace. Afshu salam, spread peace. It's not about spreading war. And I am in no way denying jihad. I've never denied jihad. It really upsets me. I once said, there's nowhere in the Quran where the word jihad is used for a military meaning. And that is true. There's only 4 times in the entire Quran where Allah uses jim, ha, alif, dal, jihad. And none of them are used to refer to a military meaning. In fact, in one verse it says, in kharajtum jihadan fi sabilillah. If you went out in an act of jihad. Now, if you look in grammar, jihad in there is mansub, right? It's in the accusative case. And if you look at what the grammarians say, it's called maf'ulun li ajlihi. It's the object of purpose. Now, one of the 5 conditions, according to the grammarians, when I studied grammar, and that's a prerequisite for reading the Quran to try and understand it. You can read it for devotion. Anybody can do that. If your language is Urdu or English or any language, you can learn how to read the Quran, but it's haram to interpret it unless you studied Arabic grammar. So in Arabic grammar, there's 5 conditions that maf'ulun li ajlihi has to have. One of them is that it's min af'al al-qulub. It's an action in the heart, not on the limbs. The heart was in a state of jihad, not the limbs.